Hello, everybody. Shelley, I apologize for being a total slacker. Sorry about that.
That's okay. At least you're here now.
Am I ever really here? That's the question.
Oh, now I kind
My
of have a
camera
mirror.
is really terrible today.
I hope everyone is having a wonderful Wednesday. Happy we don't have to drive in the weather. So Shelley, who are we waiting on?
There's Mr. Friesen there. Let me get him on. We're waiting for Will.
Okay,
And Aaron said he would be here too.
okay, perfect. So I think with Aaron, we would have enough for the minutes. For yeah, so I think we can do both of those.
Can you verify that I'm hearing everybody?
I can verify that you're hearing me if you can hear me.
I can verify that I heard you. Thank
Awesome.
you.
Okay, so I think Mr. Rieger said he would be here. Is that correct, Shelley?
Yeah, but I did not hear from Angela, so
Because she's a slacker like me. So we'll give it a couple more minutes for
Okay.
Mr. Rieger. It's only 7 now. He's probably caught up in the weather with his internet. I should have queued up the music from Frozen. We could have all been listening. Do you want to build a snowman while we were waiting?
But of course,
Uh-huh.
There's still time.
There is not. I don't know why I have that song going through my head, but 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So we could start. I'll give him a couple more minutes, but we have enough that we could go ahead and do it if he for some reason can't make it. Will, did you bring enough drinks for everybody?
You know, I could make enough iced coffees for everyone if anyone else needs one.
No, a little late for me.
I have a Keurig right behind me, so I'm ready.
And then Tamara, you'll have to excuse my memory. Were you our attorney that joined us last time? Or you new?
No, I've been the city attorney since June, but Assistant City Attorney Victoria McDermott has been attending their meetings.
Okay,
But she attended city council for me on Monday, so I volunteered to join you at your meeting this evening.
nice. Well, welcome to the Board of Adjustments.
Thank you.
All right, so we will go ahead and get started, and perhaps Mr. Regal will join late, and then we can address that as it happens. So I call the Board of Adjustments and Appeals to order for Wednesday, March 9th, 2022. Ms. Warwick, could you please take the roll?
Mr. Rieger, Miss Schmitz, Mr. Friesen,
Present.
Mr. Thompson,
Present.
Mr. Taylor,
Present.
Miss Hoffman,
Present.
Chair Finn.
Here, present, so that's 5 presents. I need to approval of minutes. So the first, and we'll do this by voice vote. The first approval of minutes is from October 13th, 2021. All those that were present and can vote, we'll do it by voice. All those in favor say aye.
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 Any opposed? No one is opposed. Actually, and I've just screwed that up because it's been a while since we have meetings. So I need to actually get a motion and a second for the approval of minutes.
I'll move to approve the draft minutes for October 13th, 2021.
Perfect. Do I have a second?
I'll second.
Awesome. Okay, so now we have a motion and a second. So now we'll do the voice vote. October 13th, 2021 draft minutes. All those in favor say aye. Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? None opposed? And now they've officially passed, and I actually succeeded doing that correctly. I need a motion and a second approval of minutes for October 26th, 2021, the special meeting draft minutes. Is there a motion?
Move to approve is written.
Awesome. Is there a second?
I will second.
Awesome. Thank you. We'll do by voice vote again. All those in favor say aye. Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? No
Chair, I
opposed.
need to abstain because I wasn't there for that meeting.
Perfect.
Thanks.
Ms. Hoffman's abstaining. But we still have enough votes to pass that, I believe, with the 4 people present. Is that right, Ms. Warwick?
Yes.
Yep, that's what I thought. All right, I need a motion and a second for the approval finding a fact for case VAR 2021-011, 3639 South Fox Street. A motion.
I'll move to approve again.
Thank you,
Second.
sir. Second. All right. Again, voice vote. All in favor say aye. Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed?
Not opposed, but I still need to abstain from this
I
one
was
as well.
Perfect. Awesome. So we have the 1 abstention. Thank you, Ms. Hoffman. All right. So we got that done. So there are 5 members present, therefore 4 affirmative votes.
Tom,
Or yes, ma'am.
Aaron has joined.
Oh, hi, Aaron.
Yep.
All right, perfect. So if we could reflect that Mr. Rieger has joined us, that would be awesome. So there are now 6 of us present. So that's 5 affirmative votes are required to grant a variance or appeal. The board is authorized to grant or deny a variance by Part 3, Section 60 of the Englewood City Charter. Anyone aggrieved by a decision rendered by this board may appeal that decision to a court of record. However, such appeal must be made within 30 days of the board's decision. Any approved variance is effective at the end of the appeal period. Building permits and construction associated with an approved variance will not be issued until the appeal period is ended. Building permits must be obtained and construction began within 180 days of the variance's effective date. Procedure for the meeting is that the case will be introduced. An overview will be given by staff. Applicant will present their request and reasons that the variance should be granted. Any proponents will be given an opportunity to speak. Opponents will also address the board if there's any of those. And then if needed, staff will address the board. So the public hearing for case VAR 2022-0-001 for the Colsons at 2925 South Bannock Street. They're requesting a 1-year extension to obtain building permits and start of work for case VAR 2020-008. They sent out that we saw the posting. Everyone should have gotten that email. So we have verification for that. Staff, if you could give us the overview.
Yeah.
Will, if you could,
So,
Will,
oh,
can I swear
yeah.
you in?
I
Sorry.
gotta do this part. I was so ready and then I forgot right at the last second.
Do you swear or affirm under the penalties of perjury that you would tell the truth in this proceeding before the Board of Adjustment and Appeals?
I do.
Please state your name.
Will Charles, Planner 2 with the Community Development Department. Yeah, so this one's a little unique beyond a normal variance. This applicant is requesting an extension. This case was heard in early 2021 for a setback as well as a bulk plane variance. So I don't have a presentation for you tonight. I do have their original presentation if anyone would like me to kind of go through a refresher on what that was. I also included in the packet kind of their original packet for the original variance. But yeah, basically they submitted a letter with it that kind of stated their reasonings, most of them to do with construction delays and things like that, with getting engineering plans, as well as kind of the other things we're seeing with the construction industry since COVID. But if you have any questions for me, I'd be happy to answer them. And then I believe the applicant is also online.
Yeah, I see Mr. Colson's online. Would anyone like a refresher, or do you guys remember this? We could have staff, if need be, run through a refresher. Are we good? All right.
I just have a quick question.
Yep, please.
Have there been any changes to the sections of code that we granted a variance to since December 2020?
I'm glad you brought that up. So funnily enough, on Chair Finn, on your paper there, I think the only thing that's different is variances are now for a year rather than 6 months. I don't recall when that happened. I know it was part of Wade's housekeeping amendments that he did. But that's the only change to the variance section since previously.
And there's been no dimensional changes or anything like that?
That was a no dimensional changes.
Correct. The variance would still be for the same. I'll leave it for the applicant to kind of discuss on where their building plans are at the moment, as far as that portion of it goes. But as far as the meat of the variance, it would be for those same conditions that were on that previous variance.
All right, so I have a question. So if we grant the variance, they would have to begin construction when?
Within a year.
Okay.
And that'd be a first shovel in the ground within a year of when the variance is granted.
All right. Does anyone else have any questions at this point for staff? All right, Mr. Charles, I think we are done with you for the time being.
Thank you.
If the applicant may please come forward to testify in the case, and if you could please state your name and address to the secretary who will administer the oath. And I think you're, oh, there you go, you're off mute.
Jason Colson, 2925 South Bannock Street, Englewood, Colorado, 80110.
If you could please raise your right hand and I'll swear you in. Do you swear or affirm under the penalties of perjury that you will tell the truth in this proceeding before the Board of Adjustment and Appeals?
Yes.
Perfect. Good evening, Mr. Colson. We got your packet with everything in there. I'm hoping that you and your family have recovered from COVID and are doing well. If you could just kind of walk us through pretty quick where you stand with everything, that would probably help us out a little bit.
So the last time you guys saw us, we had a structural engineer that, you probably see a lot of these, but he wasn't able to get through the meeting appropriately. Well, it turned out he had mismeasured simple measurements like the frontage of our house by 4 feet. So we had to start all over. That became aware to us when we started to finalize the permitting and realized that there was several dimensions that were dramatically skewed. So we had to scurry and find another structural engineer during COVID that could take on from the beginning our plans and start all over from scratch. So we've just been delayed by structural engineer, different people talking to about the construction, stuff like that. The architect, all of that stuff is brand new.
Okay. Does the board have any questions for the applicant at this time? All right, Mr. Colson, I think that is currently all we need you for. If we have any other questions, we'll recall you. Thank you very much. Shelley, is there anybody present who wishes to speak in favor of this request? I don't know if we have a holding pen somewhere or something.
We do not. It's all virtual and there's nobody waiting.
All right, and so then that would also mean there's no one that's going to speak in opposition?
No.
All right, staff, any additional comments?
Nothing for me.
All right, board, any other questions before we close the public hearing for staff or the applicant?
What criteria are we supposed to use in considering something like this? Is it our normal criteria?
That would be a question for Ms. Niles, I believe. And I would think it's our normal criteria because there was nothing else laid out. And I don't know if staff, but there was nothing else laid out in our materials. Oh.
Sorry, I had it down a bit and couldn't find the unmute button. When you asked the question, I began researching. I think it's the same criteria as granting a variance. And Will, you're welcome to weigh in if you disagree, but I'm going to research it quickly, but my preliminary opinion is it's the same criteria.
Okay.
Yeah,
it's
been about 4 years since I've, sorry, go ahead.
I guess I'm concerned about that because we're not taking in any testimony on any of the criteria. I mean, aren't we just granting an extension?
Yeah.
Just whether there's good cause to grant the extension.
Yeah, it's been about 4 years since I've done one, but that was how we did it in the past. But I'll defer to our city attorney.
Well, you already considered the criteria. So today would be the time when if there was a material change to your prior findings that we would bring those forward. So you already made the findings previously. So if there was a change that would materially change those findings, those would need to be brought forward so that you could reconsider the application of the criteria. And because there are none, then I don't think you have to reconsider the evidence given nothing's changed.
All right. So then it would be a simple vote to grant to give them a 1-year extension. All right. Ms. Hoffman, is that how you would understand it as well?
I guess that makes sense. Is our motion then to extend the variance in, I don't have the case number in front of
Yeah.
me.
Okay, so let me,
Variance 2020-008, is that the motion you'd be looking for to the city? It's a question for the city attorney.
yep. She's shaking her head, yes. Nice. All right. So I'm going to go ahead and close the public hearing. And then I'll need a motion and a second.
I'll give it a shot.
Perfect. Thank you. Ms.
I
Hoffman.
move to grant a one-year extension in case number VAR 2020-008 to variance that was granted to Jason and Stacey Colson in I'm not sure when that was, but that's my motion.
And I'll
Sure.
second.
All right. So I would like to do a friendly amendment and that just to add that it would be an extension of VAR-009, which was the variance that was approved.
I've got a question about that because the backup documents said it was 008.
Oh. That's. It does appear to be 008, not 009.
And can we comment at this point in time? Because if I remember correctly, they did come back with 009 and we actually denied that and it went back to the original 008. Well, because it came back when I think if I'm not mistaken, they didn't make the bulk plane on the second amendment. So we denied that and then it referred back to 008, which we did approve.
Okay. So the variance that we're looking at extending would be 008. Is that okay?
That is the way I remember that.
All right, so if we could have a friendly amendment that the variance that is looking to be extended is actually VAR 2020-008.
I think that was the motion I made.
Yep.
Oh,
it is.
perfect. All right, see, this is what happens when we don't have a meeting every month.
You're
All
out
right.
of practice.
I know.
I have
and then
I
I
have a
second that.
question.
All right, we have a second. Perfect. Okay, we have a motion and a second. Yes, Mr. Friesen.
I'm wondering what we're extending the date to, whether it's based on the approval back in December 9, in other words, or it's going to be a year from this date.
It would be a year from this date.
Okay, I wasn't clear on that either because is it a year from when it lapsed in January or today? So
Yep. Well, when I asked Mr. Charles earlier, he said it would be a year from when the variance is granted. So that would be tonight.
Okay.
Is that everyone else's understanding?
Yes.
All right.
I guess it would be, I'd have a question to the attorney. There's like a 2-month lag in there in between them. So we're essentially just ignoring that and continuing. It's a year from now. That's fine. I just want to know.
Yes, applicable municipal code says that the variance is for a year. And so because the variance had lapsed and you're extending it tonight, because that variance is continued, it would be my opinion that that year starts tonight.
And so we don't need to address the 2 months that it had lapsed. I think that was the question.
No,
And see,
I don't think you need to.
thank you, Ms. Dawson. Aren't you happy you came to our meeting since we're making you work? All right. Any other questions, discussion about the variance? Thoughts?
On my part, it seems logical. I mean, between all the things that have happened in COVID and certainly the construction industry, it's just been a little crazy. And I don't think it changes our findings, so I don't see any reason not to.
Yeah, I appreciate Mr. Taylor, the question, because I think it was very important. It was a great question about if the code had changed anything that we had changed before. I'm comforted in that it didn't. So, and I think we can all take a deep breath over the past year, and hopefully the worst is behind us. But I mean, to me, again, I think it makes sense with everything that's gone on, and I think construction has been nuts. Does anyone else have any other feelings or kind of issues you want to deal with this, or should we vote? All right, let's vote.
Ms. Hoffman,
Yes.
Mr. Taylor,
Yes.
Mr. Thompson,
Yes.
Mr. Friesen,
Yes.
Mr. Rieger,
Yes.
Chair Finn.
Yes.
Motion passes 6-0.
All right, perfect. So the case VAR, what are we on? VAR 2022-001, I believe, is now closed. And what do we have next? Staff's choice. Staff, what's going on?
I don't really have anything. Apologies for that that typo in there about 008-009. So I'm glad you guys got that figured out. But that is it for me. I don't think we have another variance coming up, Shelley, unless I'm mistaken.
We do not. I just want to state though that our alternate Spencer moved out of the city. So we don't have an alternate right now.
We've already lost. She was just an alternate and we've already
She
lost
was,
her?
yes, we did.
You know, if we had some good
Yeah.
fence cases come up in front of us, she probably would have just stayed to work with
Mhm.
us.
But that is it for me.
Nice. All right. Miss Niles, do you have anything for us? I know we're not the typical, but nothing.
No, I don't have anything.
All right. Are you going to come back to our thing, or are you just now going to give up on us? And push us back?
No, I'm sure I'll be back.
All right. Board's choice. Anyone have anything? Is anyone moving out of the area? All right. Nice. I'm glad you're stuck.
I moved in the area.
Well, that's congratulations on the new house, the new place.
Yeah.
All right. So at some point, COVID will be over and we will get together in an outside place. It'll be summer by then. There's a couple places we should get together. But other than that, awesome. Thank you guys so much, Ms. Hoffman, Mr. Taylor. I appreciate the input tonight and keeping me on the straight and narrow. Everyone have a good week, and we will probably see you in a couple of months. I appreciate it. Thanks, guys.
Thank you, guys.
Great.
Thank you.